have the cool kids philosopher. I don't know who the fuck gave him that name. I think it was the New York Times. And here's his take on Bernie exiting the Democratic primary.
I was going to get to more on coronavirus, and perhaps we still will, but I would be remiss if I did not point out that in breaking news, Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the race. So that is a thing that has now happened. Brilliant that Bernie Sanders waited until after that Wisconsin primary, like the day after the Wisconsin primary, where it was obvious who's going to get shellacked anyway, to drop out. So lots of people waited in line thanks to dramatic confusion over what should be done during a primary, during the COVID-19 era. And then Bernie got out. So just adding insult to injury, he waits until after everybody stands in line to vote for him in Wisconsin, and then he gets out of the race.
You know, it's nice to blame one person for an incident that involved many different players, but to add on top of that, Bernie actually came out saying that we should do mail-in ballots or other kind of techniques. Unlike Biden, who was, oh, we should just leave it to the courts and not have a good stance on it, even though people might actually die.
He's going to give some sort of statement, but pudding for everybody, I think, is the short statement. Everybody gets pudding. Goodbye, Bernie. We will see you later. I mean,
I don't know if everybody that works there is too afraid to tell him his impression fucking sucks.
good. I mean, Cuba hardest hit, the Castro's hardest hit, Venezuela hardest hit. How terrible. How terrible that Bernie is out. I really don't have much more than that. Like it was an obvious thing. Like the only reason he was staying in presumably was to get to 25% of the delegate base, and then he could use that authority to kind of throw his weight around at the convention. He could still try to do that. He could still walk into the convention and say that I'm not going to throw my Bernie Sanders supporters behind you, Joe Biden, unless you do X, Y, and Z. So I don't think that he needed the formal delegate count in order to do that. With that said, he doesn't have a lot of weight now, and Joe Biden would be a fool to start catering to the Bernie Sanders side of the party. He's got to count on the fact that people don't like Trump to unify the party, not on catering to the Bernie Sandersites, because right now, Biden's entire campaign rests on the feeling that he is not volatile, that he is not radical, that he is non-threatening, right? That's the stuff where people are worried about Bernie Sanders.
Actually, he's wrong about that. The main reason the electorate ended up going towards Biden is because along with this douche, along with large media conglomerates, especially CNN and MSNBC, they made the very, very strong case for the electorate that Bernie was not electable and that Joe Biden was, and that electability was the most important thing against Trump. You know, this is easily verifiable because in the polls we see that Bernie's ideas, they poll relatively high, and especially in the coronavirus age, Medicare for all started polling even higher. So it's not that, oh, the public, they like Biden's centrist ideas. No, they like the fact that he was electable in some sort of way. But that's why Bernie kept saying, we're winning the ideological battle, but we're losing the electability fight. Unfortunately, all that electability bullshit worked very well on the American people.
So if Biden starts catering to that, he actually undercuts his own message. So as I say, the breaking news that Bernie Sanders has indeed dropped out of the presidential race, according to NBC.